aggressive, tempo-based. KT a little bit more late-game focused. Game 2, they got broken open like an egg in the early game, and this could not be put back together. See if Game 3 continues that same theme as KT Rolster, our first pick moving into this one.
Yep, choosing first pick in a Game 3 I think is kind of curious. It is going to be the first time that they do have first pick, as HLE did manage to get it the first 2 games, as they had right of first selection in the first one and then lost, so had it in the second one as well. But we often see priority move over to second pick, but also HLE chose red side, so it's all just a little bit weird moving into this one. The Caitlyn, the Varus is going to be taken away. The Caitlyn is the newest addition to the ban list, is Gnar as well. That's an odd ban.
That's weird. It makes me feel like Perfect wants to play Renekton, even though Renekton has done decently into Gnar recently.
Yeah.
It was a classical counter pick, but the main Gnar picks that you want to crush are the Cassante, which is fearlessly banned, and the Scion, which is also fearlessly banned. So a little surprised by that, to say the least.
Yeah. So one last ban for HLE. The Annie is going to continue to be taken away. Ezreal is being banned in the first couple of games, but instead of that, it is going to be the Lucian locked in here for aiding.
Lucian, Milio, Yunara, Lulu.
Who would have guessed it?
Although,
wait, you can just play, you just like pick like, or you pick away the Milio if you'd like to.
This is what Keria did, right? And they played the Milio Aphelios. Now, Guma is also a great Aphelios player alongside Pays, who played it last time around. They could go for that setup here. Denying this one still means the Nami will go over.
Yep.
See what they want to play with this. I also am a big fan of Milio Jinx, and I think Jinx suits the playstyle of HLE, and also Guma is great at that pick as well, even though we haven't really seen that pick in the meta for quite some time. Zeka going to prioritize the Aurora with all these mid-champions banned away, and his proficiency on this, I think this makes a ton of sense regardless of what this draft is going to look like.
Yeah, I think it does give now BDD an opportunity to answer the Aurora here and hold their cards to their chest. But it will mean that Xin Zhao is going to once again just be something not really considered in this draft, as Renekton is instead going to be the lock-in, and obviously the Nami then has to come through afterwards. So a strong bottom lane and a Renekton that feels like it's pretty pickable at this point in time.
Wonder what Zeus wants to play into this Renekton. I mean, it is possible to play the Aurora top into the Renekton and then pull a page out of Showmaker's book here, although I would not personally be a big fan of it.
I mean, I love it.
Oh, baby.
That's Draven. Okay, Guma. So far, Draven has not been played, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that win percentage there was a little bit misleading. It makes it look like he hasn't won any.
I mean, he hasn't won any.
Yeah.
Also hasn't lost any, but definitely hasn't won any.
Yeah, I think it should have just said win percent dash.
Yeah, NA.
NA.
But maybe we'd be confused with like the win percentages North America.
Yeah,
that seems
0%. That's rude, Atlas. Why'd you do that to him?
Well, I mean, I didn't. That's probably why it wasn't not applicable, that was put there, just so that people don't get confused.
All right, so Zoe's going to be taken away from BDD, which is a pretty smart choice, I think, given this draft already. Double bubbles sounds pretty annoying to deal with, especially if your Draven dies, you lose the game a lot of the time. So that's a pretty good thing to prevent.
All right, so now we're going real deep into the Renekton answers. Shen actually a pretty good matchup, as of course you can mitigate his stun pretty well.
But it also empowers the Draven to be a hyper carry later on as well. So I do like that. Let's see what the final ban is going to be here. Victor also feels like it could be a good choice here for BDD. It's a very different choice, but it's very sturdy, right? And it is a lot of extra damage. It means this draft is not just going to be wholly Lucian looking for those picks. Akali is what they opt for instead. So 2 burst mid laners taken away from BDD.
And one more ban to come on through now, as jungle is just being completely ignored so far in both the picks and the bans. Maybe we'll see a Xin Zhao ban against Kanavi. I feel like I'm like weirdly obsessed with Xin, but there it is. Finally, someone notices the champion exists.
I was kind of feeling the same as you. Like, you should ban Xin here, but I thought they just weren't going to based on what we've seen so far. Skarner feels so good here. I like it a lot because it sets you up for those picks, and all you need is a single kill to get this Draven online in the mid game. That's a very Kanavi thing to do, to play Hecarim here.
Sometimes you just want to be a horse, and maybe that's what they're going to look at, is instead, could be a different quadruped. This is going to be the highest priority pick that is still left up and available, as the Nocturne is going to be locked in.
And it's Nocturne Aurora.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
I'm wondering now what the answer is going to be for BDD. I think something defensive.
Fate into Nocturne.
I don't know about that.
Doesn't feel great.
I think they need something. I think they need damage. They need to change this draft into a little bit more of a well-rounded one instead of just a Lucian Renekton burst. Cuz looks a little bit puzzled almost at what he's about to lock in.
Ivan Tristana.
The Victor
going for that Victor angle.
I think this is correct, even though it doesn't feel great. Like, it's kind of hard to fight your way out of this draft now, as they'll take the Skarner themselves.
Skarner's a bit of fun. That does mean now BDD needs to do big damage.
I think he's going to play Victor.
Ah, Teemo. Well, we need Nasus to be Harvard. Bit of Susan getting in amongst it. But effort so far just going to go back to the Anivia.
Mel is way too greedy in this draft, and this also feels similar to me. I don't think it's too slow against the high power of this draft for Honor Life Esports. I think the Victor is the only champ that can both do high damage but also have a build that keeps him very safe. His 0% win rate is real. He has not won yet, even though he looked very powerful in the games he has been in.
Yeah, Showmaker especially has found a fair bit of success, just not in the destroying of enemy nexuses, which is problematic. Let's see what Zeus is going to be playing this game as just an Ornn is a consideration. Ornn
works so well because it's both frontline for the Draven, but also more pick and spell.
Whoa! That is a different thought!
That's a completely different champion entirely here, but it allows you to get through all of the CC and access the carries. And when the Nocturne presses R, there are so many threats to both BDD and aiming here that even though the Victor is going to be relatively tanky, I don't know if it'll matter because there's just so much burst damage. A lot of it low range, but this Olaf allows you to just get in there.
Yeah, and it feels now like there's two Dravens in this game, right? Like Olaf requires Snowball to work. Draven is Snowball, the champion. And, you know, Aurora is from Freljord, which there's a lot of snowballs over there. Like, it makes a lot of sense that HLE just double down on this strategy that they were already representing in this draft. But it does mean that if they fall behind, oh my goodness, the catastrophic failure that this composition can run into is certainly something they need to be wary of, because KT as well, I mean, they scale pretty effectively, even though they've got the Renekton.
I think that we have a little bit of a different draft here. Like, Game 3's draft is not as much KT just outscale, and that's the end of it, because they have some really strong tools in the early game as well with the Skarner and the Lucian. But their comp does scale better because of the Victor. I think this bottom lane 3v3, as it often is going to be the most important. If they can shut the Draven out early, then I don't think Honor Life Esports have a prayer, but I don't know if it's going to be that simple.
And also, Hanwha have all the momentum. Let's get on to the Rift here for game number 3. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the final game of this series, and possibly the third of 6 of the day. Obviously, it's Bro versus DRX coming up, and it's likely that the Bros are just probably going to be better, but I hold out hope, because DRX have been going the distance against a lot of teams, namely HLE as well as KT. They just tend to take games, so maybe, and the Bros are generous. We could get 6 games. It could be the day.
It could happen. I'm not trying to jinx it. I think you are, but I'm here to I'm here to say maybe.
And it's also,
but Bromentum is too strong.
It's also a Pog State day, so it means that the content is going to be way better if we're exceptionally tired.
I'm always there for a 6-game Pog State day.
Oh yeah. Well, Kanavi going to be taking his Raptors and then immediately looking to see what Cuz is getting up to, as he does already have vision down. That is going to be the blue buff secured.
It's hard for BDD to do things here.
And Cuz just going to vacate, just gets himself out of there. Kanavi will be moving on over to the Wolf Camp. And
Kanavi, the king
wants nothing to do with this.
Early game pressure in the jungle, and yes, Cuz is just not going to interact with him. Will just be, I don't want to say happy to lose some of his jungle, but prefers that to actually colliding with an early game Nocturne on Skarner.
He is pinging to try and steal away the enemy blue, but
both barriers down.
Scary.
Aiming has the health advantage here, but Delight has the other one on the other side.
And now it's Anami looking for a back angle.
Cuz is here.
Oh yeah, this is dangerous.
This is the other thing. Kanavi can't impact the lanes very well pre-6, and Cuz absolutely will.
Aiming, dashing in, looking for the angle here as Gumayusi just realizes he's got to try and cash in now, but it's not going to work out. There's a crash into the wall. It should be a double here as Delight not getting out of that one, and it's a double for Aiming of all people.
Yeah, this is the problem of that. I mean, I said it's not as simple as just getting ahead and shutting the Draven out early, but perhaps if you know the Nocturne is in your jungle and you're Skarnet, you can get there faster. You can make an aggressive play like this, and I just don't think Guma and Delight expected it because they're like, okay, well, he's losing some of his jungle. What decision is he going to make? Is he going to try to cross the river? We'll see, but he comes over at level 2.
The level 2 Skarner is the deadliest.
He comes at here. They just do not expect this. They think he's on red buff right now, and when he shows up, they're like, oh my god, I guess we're in big trouble now. This is a great call from Guma. Unfortunately for him, it does not work out, but I think it was absolutely the right play to try to look at early cash in. And unfortunately now he is, because he didn't get the kill, also flashless. Aiming.
Oh god! Flash. And it's a BF sword. That's a good buy. I'm gonna say that's quite an effective use of Boris. Well done. As now Zeka taking some damage here from BDD as Kanavi just going to be driving on by. Electrocute seemingly did nothing as BDD had the shield from the Q as Cuz should be able to grab this crab. Knows that Kanavi is in the area, but just going to follow the crab up and that will be taken down. So Cuz is behind a little bit here in the jungle, but not even that much. And KT, about 1,000 gold in the lead. You can see that that was just great decision-making from Cuz to get into that bottom lane, make sure that they win down there, and he doesn't even lose too much as far as the jungle is concerned. Kanavi does have a lot more to take now, and it's more dangerous for Cuz to go in and contest. And so that lead for the Nocturne should expand as he takes the Krugs and the Raptors.
Absolutely, but, you know, down here, the solution can continue to apply the pressure in the 2v2. The barrier's back up. Flash available here for Aiming. Guma needs to be very careful about getting hit by anything. Like, even damage like this can actually be the difference maker as it gets caught by a bubble.
Yeah, great bubble does come on in there as the barrier does have to be used. Barrier comes in from Aiming, and he finds the kill! Piercing Light, too much damage, and now Delight, no one to support! As the Tidecold's Blessing is going to slow him down. Good sidestep, but Aiming will be able to find the kill, and it's another double, this time just in the 2v2, and even just Aiming is 1,000 gold ahead.
I mean, Aiming is popping off in this one, but the barrier was used early. Guma gets caught there, and Aiming knows because he has the flash advantage, he can just flash in there, and there's just not enough damage to stop him with that barrier there. He's holding a BF sword, so he just calculates it really well, and now he's 4 kills, excuse me, with the last one going over there, ahead of this Draven. And this is a pick that Guma is known for, by the way. Like, this is a pick that was his debut champion in 2020's Worlds qualifiers, right? Where he first made his opening debut on such a crazy pick. His Perfect has level 6 advantage.
Yeah, going to be getting that Dominus on down as Cuz driving in towards Zeka here. Only level 4, but does find the rock, and the Arcane Storm is ticking. Still not going to be enough. Doesn't even get the flash. As Kanavi going to show up here. Level 5 to the level 4 of Cuz, who wants to throw some rocks around. Fear comes through, but it's a good spell shield there to make sure that rock doesn't do too much. Now Cuz going to slink back towards his jungle and look for a few levels. Level 6 Ragnarok now gained here for Zeus. As Humble Life Esports down here on this bottom side. Obviously, the Draven can swing back, right? Yes. If you can stack up some of that adoration and get a cash in.
Bubble.
It's tough, but yeah, great bubble.
And there's no flash for the Draven, right? So Aiming just gets in there, then has the flash here to follow up on the Milio. And he ends up having the Q to come through, flashes forward, and that is that. As we have a fight for the Dragon.
Yeah, that is going to be Kanavi locking that down. Cuz got into the back of the pit, but does have to flash now to get himself out. So KT not able to get themselves the smite. Still ahead by a decent margin here, but HLE still getting around, getting stuff. That's perfect. Once again going aggressive. Zeus will be able to turn this as the Undertow was unable to be picked back up again.
Even though it's the big problem here right now is that Aiming is 1,000 gold ahead. I like the point you raised about the stacks because the worst time to lose stacks is like 12 to 16 minutes in the game where you're at 0 kills and you lose all of that value you've been holding. But you can still build that up to 15 minutes here if you don't die anymore. And you can just stave the pressure off and then try to find success elsewhere at HLE's comp. And then all it takes is just one pick and then suddenly Guma gets all that gold deficit back. But the Aiming lead here is what's going to make that so hard. It's the lead that he has, the burst that he has in this game where playing this Draven, you have to be getting those stacks, you have to be trying to push the envelope, but if you die just one more time, I mean, then you're truly lost. But there is still like an angle here, 5 to 10 minutes away from now, where Guma could get that late cash in and things could turn around.
And also play through some of these other lanes, right? Get Zeus into a position where like aiming can do nothing. If the Viking decides to run at him, that could be an angle that they go for as well. Whirling Death now picked up here for Gumayusi. Has that one as he looks to try and stack that Adoration, get that execute damage built up. But right now, HLE still with the shove.
Tidal Wave is a scary prospect here as well. If they push up too far and have to flash, then aiming has flash advantage again. They gotta be so careful. The Light's ult is coming online fairly soon, but he doesn't have it for a bubble either if that connects.
Ooh, Paranoia up and available as the culling comes down. There's a Tidal Wave doing nothing at all, and some R buttons have been pressed. There's that Paranoia we were talking about as Kanavi's delivered to the turret, and now the Skarner makes his way in. Does have the Impale to get the flash out from Gumayusi.
He's here too.
Yeah, BDD going to move on down. Kanavi probably going to be their target as he sets up the gravity well, and there is a very easy bubble. Aiming locks his 5th kill down of the game.
Perfect here on the top side as well. Continue to control this matchup with no jungle attention. BDD generated so much prio in mid. Zeka had to back, and he was able to roam down and set up that gravity field. The early part of that fight looked pretty abysmal for aiming and effort. Almost felt like they were trying to bait because Skarner was coming down with the Tidal Wave. Okay, this is crazy.
No.
I don't know about this one, my man.
Yeah, Zeka might be regretting this. There is an ulti to come on through, but the barrier is already down. Flash from Zeka to be able to pick up the shutdown. That is massive. Not quite enough to get effort as well, but that is so much money over to Zeka. And as you can see, just launches himself into an 800 gold lead.
An incredibly risky play pays off, and Guma sets it up with his ultimate first there. Then he has the burst to follow. That was really well played. I did not expect that to go well. I thought that was going to be a disaster, that he just gets shoved into the wall, and then we were like, all right, well, now you don't have TP. Now BD's just going to push in mid. BD did just push in mid during that time, as he had already teleported back to the lane, ends up picking up a plate as well, but like you said, the kill and the shutdown is way more valuable, and that rockets him into a pretty nice advantage individually.
Ooh. Gumayusi gonna have to start off that back again. Let's see whether Effort can actually land the bubble here. No flash available for Gumayusi, and he just gets bubbled! Oh no, thought that he was right on the edge, so he is extraordinarily dead. That barrier was a, yeah, that was a hope and a prayer, and unfortunately it went unanswered. As Cuz just going to come on over and look for a enemy blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to constantly be pushing this bottom wave in. Aiming's going to pick up plates, and he can come join this scrap in the jungle if Kanavi wants to fight for it. Kanavi's on the other side of the map right now anyways. We'll have his Paranoia back up in 4 seconds. Maybe they can try to make something happen mid, but this bottom lane is just not salvageable anymore. I think Guma is out of this game, as Straven comp now no longer... We can even talk about that late cash-in. It's just so incredibly unlikely, and it's going to take so long to build up, down to 80 Adoration stacks here.
Yeah, this is the problem. Like, he's died 3 times in sort of staggered fashion. Like, sometimes you can sort of feed a little bit, but then you hold on for a while. Yeah, the problem is he's, like, dying and then waiting a bit, dying and then waiting a bit, and then so you're, like, he's still sitting at 94. He will have some stacks to cash in, but it's just, that's not how Draven is supposed to be played.
The stack denial timings have been like almost the worst that they could be. I mean, like we were talking about before, you died 2 times early, it's like, okay, well, just don't die again.
Yeah.
But he did die 1 more time, as the bubble placement was good. I think he just didn't expect the angle. Effort was coming from there and was a little greedy and is punished as a result. 2,000 gold behind on the iconic Draven. It's going to have to be Zeka and Zeus who bring them back into this game if they can get back into this game at all. The shutdown gold is already gone on this Lucian, right? You already got that money for Zeka. Let's see what they can do in this mid game, as the second dragon has spawned and KT have their eyes on it.
Right now, just clearing out vision where they can. You can see Zeka slinking around. Does get vision down himself. Hexplate completed here for Kanavi, as Cuz just has this dragon in his clutches for the minute. Looks like KT might be able to just clear out the vision where they can, and it will be the dragon likely going on over, as Kanavi will be in Paranoia range pretty quickly as BDD makes his way in. There's that Paranoia we were talking about, and down goes the Nami before anything really happens. And there's the flash in from Cuz, looks for the angle and gets it! Just picks up Kanavi. Gumayusi dead for the 4th time, and it's a double for BDD! 8-2 is KT! Oh man, they took game 2 personally. They're looking to wipe HLE out of this one.
Yeah, say goodbye to Zeka's gold lead after that one. actually still has 600.
Yeah, not quite.
600 the advantage. I thought it was going to be a lot more after the double comes through, but a lot of that lead is gone now. As look at the initial part of this fight. Looks like, okay, they got the Nami, it all works out. But BD is frantically shot calling on the player cams, and then I think they're calling for the Impale angle here for Cuz, because aiming is so far away from the rest of the fight. He's the target they wanted. He's the Fed member here, and he just does so much damage for free while BD is layering on top. And it is still Zeka's gold lead here, but it's the only one on the Rift, as this Olaf has just been catching waves here. Zeus not making an impact in this game just yet, and if we get later and later into it, and this Victor and Lucian scale up before the Olaf actually gets to team fight, then he's not going to have a good time.
Yeah, it's looking like Perfect is just in pretty good standing right now. Effort grabs his Slay. Perfect has his Black Cleaver completed as item number 1. And Cuz is back down here once again. Does have the old protoplasm put together here. And so just feeling pretty tanky on this Skarner at the minute.
And for Kanavi, he's just not been able to get the tempo advantage. He did have it early, right? And he still has like the farm lead, but he's not been able to get the ultimate 100 stacks. He's not been able to run the Rift the way that this comp really needs to with Nocturne Draven. Like, I still think this draft is phenomenal for HLE, but the bottom lane went so poorly that
yeah, it just feels like such an all or nothing draft, right? And if the whoopsies start happening, if the level 2 Skarner gank is going to be successful, it just hurts so much more than if you were playing a different composition that can sort of right the ship a little bit more slowly. This one does just require you to play very aggressively. That is going to be happening here, as the culling is just going to be soaked by Gumayusi. Tidal Wave connects onto 2 as the Paranoia comes down, but Kanavi just barely gets over the wall. And the Skarner is still driving. That was really cute mitigation of the Paranoia. But HLE are not done yet. Another fire kick does come on through. Whirling Death over the top as well, as Cuz is pretty tanky. Zeka makes his way in. Now does go between the worlds. Kanavi, he's just dead. Cuz is likely to burn down, and he will fall, is now aiming at full health, and BDD flashing in. Dash cannon value gigantic. The Arcane Storm is ticking as Gumayusi. Oh, he is hungry to get a cash in. And BDD is going to be able to lock down the kill onto Zeus, who made his way through. He picks up a stride breaker, but Perfect is in the top lane, just demolishing stuff.
He's going to get the first turret for KT, and the lead is going to explode to 4.5k. I was pretty shocked initially that they didn't TP in, because, okay, we have a TP speaking of.
Oh dear, that is Zeka making his way down, and HLE, I do not fault them for making these plays. They need to force this game back in their direction, and Zeka might be the guy that will be able to do it, but not with a play like this, unfortunately, as the bubble just barely going to miss. Dash Cannon gets Zeka out to make sure that he's going to be all right.
Going to swap Perfect down to this bottom lane, and they'll reset Lucian into the mid lane.
Yeah, Guma's like, I want a different support. So, Zeka, come down here.
You could almost feel like KT were like nervous they weren't going to be able to win this fight. Look at the minimap when this all breaks out. They don't teleport BDD to the turret immediately, even though he has TP. I thought, okay, if BDD shows up on the turret here, then it's just 100% a done deal. They defend, right? And he's still pushing. Perfect is pushing, and KT are like, let's just give this turret up because there's no wave here. Let's back off the turret. And then they make the call, when this engage comes through from Zeus, to actually turn and fight. Kanavi eats this last shot. He dies. Effort survives, and then BDD finally pulls the trigger on that TP, albeit very far away. He flashes forward, goes to the dash cannon, almost just locks them all up here, but the fight is won. Zeus gets burned down, but Perfect doesn't even show up, doesn't even need to TP.
Crazy thing is that BDD, as a result of that, is now 3-0, right? This Victor has just been wandering around the map, and it just so happens that HLE are making engages when he wants to just make some money. And that's going to mean that this Victor is just going to be cruising into the later stages of the game.
Absolutely.
Yes, that shutdown is working wonders for Zeka's coffers, but it doesn't mean that this Victor is that far behind relative to the game state.
Exactly. And now the Lucian has a rapid fire cannon. Speaking of...
Oh, Kanavi might be dead. By might, I mean definitely dead.
He was like peeking over the wall, like...
Is this what Valdez would call Omega Dead, Wolf?
Yes, Omega Dead, or often Giga Dead.
Yeah, Giga Omega Dead, I think, happened as well.
In some parts
he'll need to sign off as to whether this does count as Giga Omega Dead.
In some parts of California, they call it Hella Dead.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But
I thought that was just a Gwen Stefani thing. Zeka and Perfect are fighting one another. Zeus looking to make his way down. He is indeed, but he does have Dominus. decides not to press the button. I would have, as when he sees the undertow in the air, he's going to have to flash, I guess.
He prefers to flash than to ult. In this situation, of course, he has to, but I thought he was just going to be ulting and looking to try to hold there. As we'll see a TP to catch that top wave, which was pushing very aggressively. And they are calling for a push into the top lane, as you saw that ping there onto Perfect's turret, but this lead is exploding. And it may just be that we have 3 pretty one-sided games in this series where they're broken open so early, but...
And it's just so hard for HLE as well, just because this composition, this is not the game state that you're ever supposed to be in if you're gonna win with this comp. It's just not really all that playable, as Kanavi goes in looking desperately for a kill onto Effort. The Whirling Death is not gonna be enough, and they just don't really have the damage to get these picks. I like the idea. I think this is what HLE needs to do, but unfortunately, this is just a product of what they've built, right? If you cannot get these kills, and then the composition just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really rough. I mean, this mid turret is down. They're going to chase.
Oh, goodness. Gravity Field, Arcane Storm. Gumiushi is able to walk his way out.
Herald charge.
Campfire there, but a double charge is going to be guaranteed with that aggression. And yeah, KT moved now to a 6,000 gold lead. And this is a Skarner Victor comp with a 6,000 gold lead. Is Gumiushi in so much trouble? Oh my goodness, the burn there as well.
He's holding 200 stacks. Like, I don't think cashing those in is going to change the game state all too much. He might find himself 2 items down here in just a minute. Like, literally 2 items down, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Completed items, but...
Aiming going for the energized build as well, which we don't see all that often. Oftentimes it is Quick Blades and the Essence Reaver. When
you're winning this hard into this comp, and now you're the one who can make the decisive pushes, you're the one who can really pick with this Lucian, it's absolutely a call I champion. I think it's a really good build in this situation.
I feel like the burst is kind of insane.
And BDD is like so tanky at this point in time with the lead that he has as well, which is... It took a while to get, but eventually you get enough kills, despite that bounty for Zeka, as a pretty great spot. Now, if Zeka didn't even get that bounty, can you imagine this game state this could be? As we're going to see a Nocturnal top.
Yeah, getting paranoid as Zeka doesn't quite find the Q as Perfect slicing. Does he have a dice? Oh, he does have a Call the Meek. And Kanavi, he's going to die to the turret. He's not going to die to the turret, but he might die to BDD. Never mind, he's not going to die to BDD. Delight keeps him alive, and they get the pick onto the Crocodile.
But here we come, the rest of KT.
Oh dear, can they avenge their top laner? The answer is yes. Zeka is going to go down, and that is BDD locking up that kill with a burn. Thought that maybe he was going to be able to survive, as Aiming just barely not able to kill him with the culling. He's 3,400 gold ahead, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, no, he has kind of been, his lead has been expanding. I want to see the Aiming gold lead graph.
Yeah.
We don't need to
it's going to look about the same.
Zeus is going to get some bounty gold here for his team, but the rest of the map is quite literally on fire. As this red buff does not belong to Honor Life Esports, they say.
Cuz has completed 2 items, by the way, so he's so far ahead of Kanavi, who only has 1. Vandal Pipes and the Protoplasm. They are very gold-efficient items and pretty cheap.
How much money is Aiming holding right now is the question. Like, what does...
Oh, dearie me. He is going to have to dash away from Kanavi as the teleport's coming in. He might be able to spend it pretty early, Wolf, as he just gets demolished, caught on a ward.
Okay. Big win here for HLE, but it's going to take quite a few more of those for them to get back in the game, but small moments like that can be the difference maker, as Baron is up and spawned. So we'll see what, you know, like, can HLE try to look for a Baron turn with this composition from the Draven?
Oh, God, it's IE.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he probably has that money. That's what I was alluding to. He is 2 items ahead of Guma with an IE, so... the utility Draven with Bloodthirster, not feel...
Utility Draven! I love that. He's just going to tell them to stand aside.
He's like, I can heal a little bit of your damage when I attack you. And Kanavi is like checking his ult range, and he's like, all right, let's wait for them to leave. And gets the fear here. And the fear timing works out well with Zeka showing up. Otherwise, like, maybe Aiming just kills him.
I mean, if Aiming had have been able to purchase his items, he would have 100% killed him, I reckon. As 3 items. Gumiushi does have Mortal Reminder, so he's only an entire Infinity Edge behind.
Yeah, no, it's
And if you say it like that, it almost sounds not awful, but it is awful, everyone.
Now wait until he gets his cash in. And then...
Aiming wants to test out his new Infinity Edge as the culling is not going to quite work out. Dash cannon going to be there as Cuz was tanking up the turret for his 80 carry. Aiming did take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't really think this is how I would play the advantage right now. Maybe just kind of put up some deeper vision in the jungle and kind of wait for the next objective, like group on Dragon, because now your Lucian isn't on the Dragon when it spawns, and now there's kind of like a weird angle where HLE could maybe try to trade Dragon for Baron and put you in an uncomfortable spot. I don't think it's going to happen, but that certainly was not what they were looking for. Zeka's just like, okay, cool, that's a good one for me. I almost died, but I didn't, and now we're back in the mid lane, grouped up. So scary, though, is this Lucian Victor damage with the setup from this front line as well. Like, Perfect has been mostly just kind of pushing and annoying an Olaf in this game, but he is also a big threat in 5v5 fights from not only this Draven, but even the Aurora. If she's trying to go between worlds, he just drops that stun, and then they burst her down.
Yeah, and I'm really scared for HLE when Aiming does have, like, it looks like he's building more of Malmortius as item number 4. And if they get Ocean Soul and he gets Lifeline, like, I don't think you ever kill the Lucian unless you hard CC him forever. And that's going to be pretty difficult because the Mikhails is going to be coming in pretty quickly here for effort as KT looking for Soul Point now. Kanavi in that brush, and the Gravity Well goes down. I think that this Drake is not going to be something that they can collect, and that is going to be guaranteed for Cuz. HLE looking for the angle though. Zeus is looking to run into that backline to try and kill BDD and Aiming. BDD goes down first, but Aiming is not going to be killed by this Olaf this time. And Kanavi looking a little worse for wear. Cuz wanting to turn this, but doesn't quite find the rock. Picks up another one as Gumayusi doing his best to kite. And KT say, well, we'll just take this 1-for-1 and we'll be about our way.
Definitely not as ideal as it could have been for KT. And speaking of, Zeka looking for an angle here.
Yeah, let's see whether he finds it. Is Kanavi going down very low, and there's the cash-in finally! Cuz goes down, and Gumayusi makes some money.
Finally gets the cash in, but will it be a difference maker in this game?
It's a lot of money.
KT is so sloppy on the Dragon setup, by the way. They come in here, BDD is frontlining, which is not ideal. He and Aiming are trying to layer damage into the champions, and then Perfect goes in here, but there's no follow-up, and then the paranoia is here with Zeus' TP in. There's just no way to peel for this backline, so BDD just gets cleared out. Aiming does eventually kill the Olaf, but so much damage has been done now. KT don't have to chase here. Don't have to do this at all. And they do, and Guma's like, well, I am on 2 items. I do kind of hurt them.
And they also had no vision. There's like 1 ward in the Banana Brush. That's like basically the only thing that's doing anything.
I mean, throwing the game for a Dragon we've seen, throwing the game for Baron, Elder, it's happened, but tossing away a lot of your lead for a Scuttle Crab, that's kind of a new one.
Yeah. Well, not if you're a North American. Seen that one
that's
before.
why you always got to do it to him years later.
It's the theme for today, okay? And at least I didn't name any. Everyone knows it's just as bad.
0% happy with what you've just said.
0%. Wait. 0% as in
your reference 0% win rate.
Oh, okay. But it has happened.
It just happened.
So it is applicable. So it's not NA.
No. Yeah.
So it wasn't actually. Okay. Good. Nice to know. All right. KT just going to be clearing out this mid lane. And the Baron seems to be on the minds of our players. 3 minutes until the next Drake. That will be a big one for KT, but that is a little further away. And I'm hoping that KT's setup is going to be better this time around. As Fire Kick tries to get Cuz out of the vicinity.
Zeka has TP. There's a lot of wards for him to go to as well if KT overextend. Like, they have not cleared all this vision. So Zeka is just kind of keeping his eye on how deep they're going into this jungle. See if that last ward, no, it's still up behind the Baron pit. If he goes into it right now, of course, it won't work out. But if KT keep trying to push forward, there becomes an angle for this Aurora. He is going to back right now and look for his next item purchase, his 3rd of the game, for some more burst damage.
Gumayusi is able to get that red buff. That's what KT were trying to defend there, but just wanders on in once they leave. And he's able to pick that one up. Aiming with his Hex Drinker now done. And Zeka has done the most damage in the game.
He is really carrying this game as best as he can to keep them in this game. I mean, like, the lead has shrunk so massively.
Yeah, 2.6k is like basically nothing. And Gumayusi cut that one down with that that cash in by about 1,000, maybe 1,500 or something like that at the moment that it happened. Kind of ridiculous. The value.
He doesn't have his IE yet, and this timing is really good for KT if they can just burst down this Baron. But even with the Victor with Leandries, they're being quite timid to
they do
set this up.
so much damage to it.
Perfect?
Now, Perfect is going to try to teleport out. It's going to be successful. Gets to the inner turret towards the top lane.
It's actually just
Zeka has teleport.
Yeah, Zeka...
Wait. They don't have any vision.
They don't have vision. I mean, Zeus is going to come over and check. I think they know. BDD with the turn.
There's the culling. Is Delight taking so much damage and he's just dead. Tidal waved. That was a dunk, is what we call when you're swimming in the ocean.
Uz is actually able to hold the Baron as well.
Oh, in goes Perfect, looks for the angle onto Gumushi. He flashes out of the way. No Mikhails for him. If he had been caught by that ruthless predator, he would have been dead as the bubble connects. And that is going to be a Baron going down. KT, that was a beautiful setup this time. The Dragon, not great. Bout a B. That was an S.
Yeah, that was
on the
really
Baron
good.
take.
And they also had, Perfect knows he can escape because Aurora doesn't have CC to lock him down. So he just goes into the alcove, pieces out, then heads straight towards the Baron. KT are ready. They have the damage. They also have great turn. Aiming's culling alone just feels like a fountain laser, and it's just so much damage coming through with BDD pushing towards them as well. BDD also had arm guard, so was not really at risk of being collapsed on by a paranoia or anything like that when he went forward there. KT now with all of this extra siege power are looking to start to really open up the base.
Well, Zeker is going to be slammed into the wall. Does get Mikhails to get out of the impale.
Also flash there as well, so no flash on either carry here for HLE.
Oh my goodness. That is a lot of crystalline overgrowth to go on down there. As Cuz, just a little bit of a donut in that mid lane.
And the bottom lane is starting to get pushed in here by Perfect, as here comes the Paranoia.
Yeah, in they go. Kanavi, oh my god, almost just dead before it even really started. The gravity field doing so much work between worlds. Not quite as much as Zeus trying to get into that backline, trying to threaten BDD once again. The Ragnarok does go down as he's fighting against aiming, but he just does so much damage. Kanavi gonna get flashed on by Cuz. Down goes Delight once again. And Perfect will just usher Gumayushi back towards his base. And KT, they are going to look to break this one open. It could be a Dragon angle. They could go over and get the soul if they'd like, but they're going to break the base first.
Yeah, get the inhibitor here and then head over and grab Ocean Soul. KT, a little bit messy, a little bit rough around the edges, but have total control back now of this game as their gold leads push back up to 6K. They're going to look to try to end here with the Baron still up.
Oh, God.
Dead.
He is super dead. That is.
I guess that's just it.
Yep. And Zeka going to be able to get to the fountain, but he will just watch as his Nexus goes down. And there it goes. Almost 30 minutes on the clock as KT carry a Baron to a game win here in game number 3.
Plays at the right time all series long. Perfect going to get the loudest cheer here. My favorite. I thought they were just going to get the inhibitor and go back to the Dragon, but the death timers were long enough, and they knew that they could just focus Guma and just blast him. And if he dies, the game is over. And this culling wasn't great, but watch the follow-up here. BD and aiming are just like, goodbye, AD carry. And Zeka's like, just all he can do is watch. It was just what he did all game long. He's like, I didn't make any mistakes. I had a good game. It's not my fault.
Okay, nice. I think that kind of sums it up as KT, yeah, a bit of an Eichel there as well. As things were a little bit tough in game number 2, but they managed to bounce back. Zeka and aiming doing the majority of the damage for their respective teams. And there was a little bit of a dip. Wasn't the cleanest when it came to the gold graph, but when you are snowballing that hard in the early game, it's hard to do it perfectly. But really nicely done, and happy birthday to Perfect picking up the win in a game number 3 against HLE.
The first pick Lucian was so risky here for KT, but they were able to turn the draft into a more scaling and engage focused draft with the Skarner pick, and I think kind of saved it. Cuz will end up getting player of the match here. His Lee Sin game.
Let's forget it. No.
Yeah,
didn't exist. You don't give palm for the lost games, okay? And I think that the level 2 gank on the Skarner, fantastic. And we mentioned already in game number 1, he was where he needed to be.
Yeah, really good.